Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another wonderful summit from GST. I just want to check that we are live on Facebook. I thought I had a little hitch there, but we are live. And I'm so glad to be coming to you today from the UK, from London. And I am blessed to be joined with some outstanding speakers today. Speaking here on this summit for GST, we have 5 incredible speakers, and they're all going to be sharing with you their wisdom about how to set your mindset for success. I am so excited for today, and I cannot wait to introduce them all to you. But just before I do that, I hope you will allow me to introduce a little bit about our company, if you would give me that opportunity. And I'm going to just share my screen, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about what we do here at GST, and it might be of interest to you to join us. We are a company that, I apologize, I've got the wrong slide up. Just bear with me a moment. Let's get back to it. There it is. There's our lovely global speakers logo. And we are an early startup international company, which was founded in 2021 in the speaking public industry. But we organize events and we try to uncover, discover, and share your amazing inner voice around the globe. So Global Speakers Talk is determined to raise and lift, encourage and inspire all new coaches, speakers, and trainers who are camera shy and face their fears and do it anyway. We're here for you and your voice, providing you with the accountability and a welcoming, big, supportive community for positive feedback and strengthening your confidence in your voice. GST's core belief is that every voice and every new voice is a story to be told. It needs to be uncovered and come into the light to grow and impact the world. Our vision is to inspire, raise, and support 1 million inner voices, empowering them to discover and embrace their true potential. And with that, I would also like to tell you that I am a very proud member of the Global Speakers Talk team. I've joined them from quite early on in their inception. It was a wonderful idea founded by Anshu Tawari, who has brought together a wonderful group of like-minded people who wanted to find their voice and have an opportunity to speak up for what they believe in. And I was terrified to be in front of the camera. I was okay standing up in front of people. I've been a primary school teacher by trade for many years. And so I was used to speaking in front of audiences. However, the camera used to give me the fear. And I know that a few other people will have been in that situation as well before they started out on their speaking journey. And a lot of us in the same boat found it very nice to be able to have this opportunity in the community to try and practice going live and sharing our voice with other like-minded people. And through doing that, I was able to, I would say that it was the reason why I overcome my biggest crippling fear of going in front of the camera, because I would worry for days before it happened. And by doing that, I then decided that it wasn't happening quick enough. So I jumped in with both feet and I agreed to host a podcast for global speakers, and we did Be Fearless. And I wanted to choose that topic because it was such a big thing for me to get in front of that camera, and I was feeling my fear and doing it anyway. So despite my confident exterior, I still went in front of the camera with so much fear behind me, so much worry before I came on, that it just wasn't a normal level of fear. It wasn't justified. So having the wonderful podcast, the wonderful guests that came on Be Fearless to talk about their experiences with fears that they'd had in their life and how they tried to overcome them, and the great community and family we've built at Global Speakers, I was able to overcome that crippling fear. So now I also host, as you see, these summits, and I wouldn't say that my fear has ever gone away. I still feel a normal amount of fear, but I'm living a little bit more fearlessly every speakers talk, and I would credit them for a lot of the reason why I'm here today to speak in front of you and to welcome these amazing guests onto this wonderful platform, which we're all very proud of. So that's really a bit about me. I'm just a primary school teacher who now has moved out of the classroom after working in several different countries and with lots of children. I now work from my living room, where I help families to build bonds and to have worked together with their children and learning that is inspired by play and enjoyment, and so that they can get to love learning from a very early age. I'm also an artist and an illustrator, so I do children's books. I've got a children's book series, which we're about to bring the 8th copy out this week, which is very exciting. And I'm a very strong believer in making sure that everybody has the opportunity to speak their voice, share their truth, and to tell everybody what they have to say. If there's one person that you can help in the world by putting your message out there, then it is worth getting up and saying what you have inside. It's not for us to share the information that we have. It's not for us to keep it. I'm sorry. It's for us to share it with others who may need to hear it. So with that, I'd like us to move on, and we're going to introduce the very first speaker today. And I'm proud to say it is a good friend, Dinesh Desai. He is a meditation leader. And what if you could guarantee that Dinesh, who is the first speaker today, will give us the easiest way to tune our mindset for success? Well, let's hear all about Dinesh, because he has 30 years of experience in the field of meditation. He has concluded his workshops and delivered his speeches in many parts of the world. And at present, he is delivering a series of lectures and practicals to a group of senior citizens in Melbourne, Australia, where he lives. He is a certified meditation leader and a life coach. And presently, he runs his own meditation classes online and in person in Melbourne. He believes that practicing meditation and yogic breathing are the basic keys for our mindset to achieve success. And now he is here with us today to share his knowledge and experience with you. So I'd like to welcome him to the stage. Dinesh, I would love to hear what you have to tell us today. Have the stage, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As the topic goes, that how to shape your mind to get the success. Well, this topic, today I would like to divide it into 3 parts. In the first part, I'll be telling few definitions. In the second part, I will give you the distinction between the positive mindset and the negative mindset. And in the third part, I'll be telling about the meditation, and I will connect it with the remaining part, that is the positive mindset and negative mindset. How, even if you have both the mindset, you can have success. So coming to the first part, an author named Gustavo Rossetti has given a statement. He says, your mindset doesn't just affect how you see the world. Your mindset doesn't just affect how you see the world. It shapes your responses and actions, even if you don't realize it. Interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, then what is mindset? A mindset is a frame of mind. It is the sum of your beliefs, opinions, and thoughts that you formed about the world and about yourself. So now you think your mindset as a lens through which you filter the reality. The reality will be different for you, for me, or even for anyone else. So coming to the second part now, what is the negative mindset and how you compare it with the positive mindset? There are hundreds of examples. Let me give you a few examples which I like most. The first one, wrong versus right. Generally, the people with negative mindset, always, whatever they hear, they will say wrong. They will not accept. And then they will face the consequences. Second, the victim versus accountable. They always think that they are victimized. They are the victims. Even the corona takes place in the other part of the world, they will think that I will be victimized, I will be suffering, I will have the consequences, and so on. Third one, comparing to others versus being on your standards. A person who is richer than me, I always compare that he is richer than me. But I don't see that beyond that, I too have my family, my house, my relatives. So these are few of the values which makes me more richer than him. Fourth thing, scarcity versus abundance. A person with negative mindset always thinks that there is scarcity. He will snatch, he will grab, he will collect, he will accumulate, and he will put it into the locker. And then he suffers the most. Next, stuck to the past versus open to the future. The person with negative mindset always thinks that whatever I am, that is because of the past. So he drags past into present, and again he drags past into future. And he lives in past only. Next, saying no versus yes and. If I ask you that if you have a choice, what you will have? Most of the time, you will say either it is yes or it is no. You never think that there is one more alternative, and that is yes and. We will see in detail if time permits. Next is the divide versus unite. The person with negative mindsets, generally he thinks of dividing. He stays alone. He sits in a corner. He never mingle with the others. The next one is the reactive versus proactive. If someone says anything or someone happens, this person without thinking will just react. He will make himself sad and unhappy and others too. Next is fearful versus fearless. A person who is negative thought, he always fearful and thus he doesn't take action. And one which I like most is avoidance versus facing the reality. It is something like pigeon and the cat. When the pigeon looks at the cat, that cat is coming to grab the pigeon. In spite of knowing that I have wings to fly, it will not fly. It will close its eyes and sit quietly, as if because I am not seeing the cat, cat is also unable to see me. And finally, cat will grab the pigeon. So this is the type of mindset that a person who avoids the reality and do not face it. Now, what happens when you think of positive mindset? There are few simple examples. First one, become more aware of mindset. Accept that your thinking needs adjustment when you are on the positive side. Here, I would like to give a beautiful example, which I always share with my senior citizens. And that is, she is one of your team member, none other than Andrea. Andrea was in Romania, leading very happy life. She was in her house with family members and all. She was literally enjoying the comfort that she had. Somehow, she shifted to Germany. New place, new surrounding, new culture, new environment, everything new. But still, she was aware of her mindset. And she very clearly knew that she only has to make the adjustment. She did it. And today, she is again with our team happily and with a leading role. Coming to one more point is the avoid seeing the reality in binary terms. We always see in yes and no, but as I said, there is one more term that is yes and. For example, I said, Tamra, you are a teacher. You will say yes. I will say no. You are also an author. Someone will say, Tamra, you are only an author. No, you are also a beautiful woman. So there are so many other alternatives when you accept that yes And so that's a beautiful word that if you can remember and try to accept and try to use it in your life. Next one is the define your purpose in life. Again, I would like to quote none other than Lisa for this sentence. I remember last year Lisa was hospitalized. She was suffering from her personal physical problem, but she literally redefined her purpose. Otherwise, her purpose was to eat, to sleep, to take rest. That's all. But instead of that, even when she was hospitalized, whenever I approached her, she replied me, she guided me. Not only that, she arranged my podcast and she floated it. She organized the program. So even today, whenever I have any problem, or especially when I suffer because of any ailment, I think of Lisa that yes, learn to redefine your purpose, at least from Lisa. And the last one, which I would like to say is turn limiting mindset into liberating one. Again, I would like to give example of Ansu. She has her family, she has her job, she has her relatives. At the same time, she has this platform. And within very short span of time, she could turn this limiting mindset into liberating one, and she has progressed in an unbelievable way. Very soon, she is going to complete three-figure programs, and that is only because she turned her mindset into liberating one. Now, coming to the meditation, how meditation works on this. The most important meditation gives you three things, that is calmness, second, clarity, and third, confidence. Meditation is not a rocket science. Simple, just you sit, close your eyes and just you sit. When you sit, what happens? Your thoughts gets calmed down. It is said that a person gets 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. And when you sit calm down, your thoughts starts coming down. Do you know? Out of these thoughts, more than 85% of the thoughts are the negative thoughts. 90% of the thoughts are the repetitive thoughts. So every day, what we do, we carry the dead body of negative thoughts and repetitive thoughts and keep on working hard. And that is how we never realize that there are certain thoughts which are innovative thoughts, which we are supposed to work on them. So when you sit calmly, literally your thought will get calmed down and the thoughts that you want to work on starts appearing. Second point, as I said, is the clarity. When it is clarity, you can pick up the thought that you want so that you can act upon it. And third most important thing which I like is, may I ask you that if you sit in meditation, what you do? You do nothing. And when you do nothing, what does it mean? You accept the surrounding. And in surrounding, what is there? There is nature, environment, and universe. So when you sit calmly, accept the surrounding, you slowly start merging with the universe. And you merge with the universe, you start getting the power that universe has. And may I ask you that why you like the universe? Perhaps everyone give me a simple reason, and that is give. Universe gives. It is the only perhaps place from where you get. And how can universe gives? Because universe has abundance. And when it has abundance, what quality comes? It comes confidence. So when you also think that you are part of universe, and literally you experience when you sit in meditation, that you are merged with the universe, you are part of the universe, you have abundance, and you have confidence. When you have confidence, you are ready to take action. The action may result positive or negative, but still you are happy with that. So perhaps one more word that our topic should be added is how to have not only mindset for the success with happiness. Because when you are happy, your mindset, you may be positive, you may be negative, you get the result, you may not get the result, but you are happy. When you are happy, naturally, you literally emit light from within. You are bubbling with energy. You are bubbling with love. You are bubbling with empathy. So, just whenever you get time, maybe for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, calm down, sit quietly, and see the difference. Remember, next time, when you think that how I should shift my mindset so as to get the success, not only success, positive success, not only positive success, success with happiness. And this is the technique that sit quietly, be in meditative state, and you see the difference. Thank you for listening to me. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. That was just fantastic. What a way to kick off our summit today. Thank you so much for sharing all that wisdom. I mean, meditation, wow, what a gift to be able to help to get you in that space where you said those 3 C's: calmness, confidence, clarity, you know, so that you can really get to your best mindset and being happy to emit that energy. Wonderful tips there, and talking about your experience from mindset. Thank you so much, Dinesh. We're going to have questions at the end. I hope that's okay with everybody. So we'll collect all the questions that come in during the podcast and during the summit, apologies, and then we'll put them to you guests at the end. Absolutely loved that as a kickoff, but we're going to move swiftly on to our next speaker. And I'm going to share with you our next speaker, who's going to be the lovely Tamara. And I'm just going to pull this up so I can tell you more about her. Tamara is indeed used to being in front of the camera, and she is the first global next impactor. She's a cancer survivor, and she's on a mission to change the world. She's the president and co-founder of a non-profit cancer support community, cb4l.org. And Tamara was awarded the first global next impactor, and she is the CEO of Impactor Press, as well as the creator of My Big Dream Life workbook and journal series. She's the producer and host of multiple TV shows airing on the E360 TV network, including her newest show, Let's Talk Fabulous with Tamara. She's also a 3 times best-selling author, a keynote speaker, EMCE, and red carpet interviewer. You can find out more about Tamara at her website, www.tamara360.com, or her other websites, which is www.tamaralhunter.com, and the nonprofit website is www.cb4l.org. I'm so excited to hear from my dear friend Tamara today, so I want to welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Lisa Marie and Dinesh. I got so much out of your talk, so thank you very much. Why am I wearing this? Well, I was inspired by the background, yes, and this is one of my stage jackets. And on here, I have multiple pins that have been given to me by different people that known that I've collected them. And each one has a story of success, a story of mindset. And since there's some pink ribbons here, if that tells you anything, wink, wink. When I go out on stage, I usually start with 2 questions. So I'm going to start right now with these. Have you or anyone you know ever heard these 3 words? You have cancer. Then I ask, stand. Well, we're on the global digital thing right now. So I'm going to say, raise your hand. If you're driving, don't. If you're raising, raise a finger, but careful which one, because someone might get the wrong idea. Okay, so now typically I would ask everybody to look around. What do I see from up on the stage? Shock, dismay. They're surprised that they're not in it alone and that they've heard these 3 words for themselves or someone else too. So they look around, and sometimes I haven't had to ask the second question, and I'm talking small rooms to huge auditoriums and conference centers. The second question is this: have you known someone that has heard those 3 words? Do you know someone that knows someone? Stand. Everyone is standing. I have them look around again. I'm looking at their faces. Some almost want to bust out crying because it's like, I thought I was in it alone. They're not. So then I say, thank you for standing with me. I've just started. They're standing with me. I say, let's make a difference out there. And let's talk. So they're sitting. Okay, so right now, you've all joined me. You've all raised your hands or your fingers. Again, watch which one. Okay, too many right now. Too many. Today, on Saturday, today, too many have been getting phone calls recently. It could be their health. It could be financial. It might be having to do with whatever. Many are feeling pain throughout the world. And if you're not, yay, raise your hands. Watch the finger. However, how do we get through it? I will tell you, sometimes those phone calls, those moments can be the darkest in our lives. And we can be feeling like, wait a minute, where's the sunlight? In fact, close your eyes right now. I'm going to help you. Close your eyes. We just had Dinesh. He was talking about, close your eyes or be one with the universe. What I want you to do is right now, close your eyes. Do you see that darkness? Do you see it? Is it the darkness before the dawn, possibly? Is there light somewhere in that dark in your eyes right now? I want you to answer that question. Because what are we looking for? We're looking for that light. We're looking for that opportunity in our world to make a difference, right? Okay, so let's open our eyes. I'm opening it again. Voila. Sometimes we need to change it up. Sometimes we need to realize that the light is there and we can get through the darkness. We can do it together. Remember that room? Together. You're not alone. Okay, so now let's continue this thought process. Now, the mindset. I'm going to add a word to it. We're going to go with the 2 M's, and it's not the chocolates. Wink, wink, guys. No. Miracle mindset. Miracle mindset. When I joined the Race Against Time, yes, known as the next Impactor, my name was called from a big, huge, beautiful stage at mansion in Chicago, Illinois. In fact, Glow, also known as Carlotta, was one of the keynote speakers there at that mansion. We had over 200 people from all over the world join the Race Against Time because they knew they could make a difference. We weren't running against each other. No, because you know what? When you have impactful humanitarians with a mission, you don't want to separate us. You want to make it happen together. Now, mindset and success. Okay, so I joined the Race Against Time at the leader, at the back of the pack. And they had been racing for a few days. Wink, wink, even longer. However, when I joined, my verbiage was this. My name is Tamara L. Hunter. I am the next Impactor. Let me tell you why. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? The I am. Miracle mindset. Okay, now let's say it. Say it. Miracle mindset. Now, Put it into your heart, put it into your soul, put it into your psyche, find the light with it. Miracle mindset. Now, when that call comes, when that moment happens and the darkness is there, because trust me, it happens every 24 hours. And sometimes even in the light, we find the dark. However, I want you to ground yourself in your miracle mindset and say, I am. And if you have to have the chocolate kind of stuff, only a few, but we call those chocolate days in my nonprofit. Find out more about it at the website. Go to the bottom, get a free thing because it's free, because it's all about celebrating your life. Because the miracle mindset allows for miracles. Now, success, miracles, mindset, what does it have everything to do with? You. Ground yourself in it. I am. If you are facing cancer, guess what? I am going to survive. I am a survivor. When I heard those 3 words for myself, I heard them for myself. My grandfather, my mother, my brother, myself, my daughter. I've heard it for all 5. And you know what? I knew from the moment I got that call that I was going to live. There was no question in my mind. Miracle mindset. I knew I would be the next impactor. Let me tell you, I had every reason why I couldn't. Truthfully, on paper, I grew up, I couldn't talk, no one could understand me. I was a bubble child. There's plenty of reasons always. I'm the girl next door. I'm the nana. Yet I am the first global next impactor. I sat on that stage, or stood on that stage at night with all these amazing people, 25, then there were 5, and then there was 1. I am the next global impactor. Now, what have we done with this? Because I say we, it's a we. Remember, we're in it together. We were all standing. Some were driving and some were flipping. No, some were putting their finger up. Miracle mindset. And we are making a difference. We are changing the world, and we are going to do it together. Those here on this panel, all of you watching now, it is the darkness. Remember, the darkest before the dawn. You need the light for the darkness. The light we're going to call upon. We're going to make the miracles happen. And whatever that success result, I want you to picture it in your mind. I want you to picture it in your mind. I want you every morning to wake up and look at your mirror, and I want you to see it. I want you to breathe it. I want you to feel it. I want you to be it. And I want you to hold your heart. I am employed. I am healed. I am okay. I am. Because together we are stronger. Together we are stronger. Together we will change the world. And together we will change the world with our hearts. Thank you.
Wow, that was really powerful. Thank you so much, Tamara. That was amazing. I don't even have much to say after that, because your message is just so powerful. Miracle mindset, grounding yourself in it, and, you know, holding it in your heart, saying, I am. What more can you say? Fantastic advice for everyone on the mindset piece, and to just believe it. That's your message. Believe it. You knew you would. Mm-hmm. And you did. Mm-hmm. And that's just amazing. And the light is always there. I just love the message as well that you have about that impactful humanitarians with a mission, and how everyone should be together, and it's all about working together for the cause. What an impact that is when everyone works together. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for sharing that with us today. And we're going to keep it coming, ladies and gentlemen, because we do have our very next speaker coming up. And we have, I always struggle with bringing the screen up. Just bear with me. It's coming. Here it is. Is it showing? I just need to check if it is. I don't believe it's showing. Let me see. It seems to have disappeared. Oh, that's a shame. I'm going to stop my share because I think you just all saw my desktop, which is a bit of a mess. So what I want to say is that next coming up, we've actually got Carlotta is coming up next. Is that correct? I believe we have. Oh, wow. This lineup today is just amazing. I feel blessed to be on this stage with you guys. Thank you for letting me be here to host such an amazing summit today. So Carlotta is going to be coming up and joining us. And there's a lot that I can say about Carlotta. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let her tell us all about her feelings about mindset. And then I'm going to say a little bit about it at the end. But what I will say to you is that she has already made a big impact in the world and continues to do so. There is so much, and I don't want to miss out on telling you all about lots of things about her because you may not have come across her before, and to have the chance to contact with her. So Carlotta, can I invite you to the stage, my lovely?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. It's all yours.
Well, first, I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. And I'm so grateful to be back with Global Speakers Talk and to share on how to shape your mindset for success. The previous conversations and talks have been wonderful, and some of those things kind of trample into what I'm going to be sharing with you this morning. However, this is a very serious matter. As a matter of fact, how to shape your mindset for success is a matter of life and death. It's a matter of, in your last moments in life, when you reflect on your life, most people want to know that they live a successful life. They want to know that they do everything they could. And the worst moment, the worst thought that you ever want to have, and I've taken this questionnaire and I've asked a lot of people who were breathing their last breaths before they transitioned out of this world. My grandfather, Fred Vernon Taylor, being one of those people. The last thing he said to me was that, Carlotta, live your life with no regrets. So ask yourself, are you living a regretful life right now? Before I could tap into this topic, I had to make sure I understood what this topic meant. I love to dive into Webster's dictionary. The definition of success: favorable or desired outcome. Now, it did not say favorable or a desired outcome of the end. Just success is what is desirable in the outcome that you're seeking, not the final destination. Most people think success is about fame. And I looked that up as well. Most people, if you were asked them, well, what is success? Well, they'll point to the car. They'll point to the house, the clothes, the shoes, or some type of materialistic matter. However, success is not about what you have. Success is about what are you doing with what you have. Jim Rohn stated, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every single day. And studies have shown, would you believe the numbers? 80% of people in the world do not have any goals that they are targeting right now in life. What an alarming number. And 20% of people have goals. However, 3% of Americans write down their goals and less than 1% actually work on their goals every single day. Now, I personally am going to tell on myself. I used to be that person who generally had no goals. And if I was striving for anything, I would definitely miss because I did not know what my purpose was. I had no idea how to find it. I was looking everywhere outside of myself, except for where I needed to be looking. John Maxwell, my mentor, says, success is for anyone who knows their purpose in life, grows to the maximum potential, and sows seeds that benefit others. Thinking about sowing seeds that benefit others, everyone on this platform talking to you today is a person who is successful because they are doing exactly what John Maxwell said do. As the author of No More Flinching, 5 Steps to Overcoming Adversity, as a coach in different businesses, as an entrepreneur, and as the coach and head coach of Recast Your Life Academy, what I've noticed is that most people shut down when life hits them. If one person has an issue that happens in life, whether it's in the family, external friendships, at work, it will derail them from their goals. It will take them off track, move them off course, and most people throw in that white towel. Most people do it. Now, another thing that I noticed is that most people also excuse themselves away from sticking to their goals and dreams. They'll throw that card out and they'll lose it and they never find it. What is that card? It's shaped like a circle. Does anybody know what that card is? It's shaped like a circle and they can't find it and they'll get around to it one day. Yeah, that get around to it. Oh, I'll get around to my goals and dreams. I'll get around to what I need to do, the daily practices and principles to stay on my goal to be successful. Well, we don't want to have that get around to it mentality. What kind of mentality do we want to have? So today I'm going to talk to you about having a no more flinching mindset, a no more flinching lifestyle. Now, if you've never read my book, No More Flinching, you would have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's break it down and get right to it. First, we're going to define what flinching actually means. Flinching is to withdraw, shrink from pain. To withdraw or shrink from pain. A lot of times it's not just the flinch that you would see someone do as a reaction to a surprise or being startled. But flinching is something you do not want to do. Not just when things happen in the natural, but when things happen in your mindset. Let's go to the football quick. Join me there. Could you imagine a quarterback? I'm not that familiar with how this goes, but whoever's catching it or throwing it, one of them got to be the quarterback, right? Could you imagine the catcher of the football flinching before they caught the ball? No, that would be an unsuccessful tactic, correct? Well, we don't want to do the same thing. We want to have the same philosophy in life. Now, pain is the pathway to your purpose. I'm going to say that again. Pain is the pathway to your purpose. Oftentimes, whatever has caused you the most pain in life is going to lead you to the pathway to find and unlock your purpose. Once you find and identify and unlock your purpose, and you work on your purpose, how most people say if you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, that's when you learn how to turn your pain into profit. Success is having a no more flinching mindset. You can have a no more flinching mindset if you choose to do so. Success is not shrinking, no longer withdrawing to the things that you want to achieve and what you consider goals in life. Now, consider the butterfly. Is the butterfly successful only when you see the butterfly's wings? Or was the butterfly successful when it was a caterpillar? Ask yourself the question about you. Are you only successful by what you do? Or were you successful the day you were born? I like to consider myself successful midnight on June 24th, 1980. I was born successful. It's whatever you choose, because whatever you choose, you are absolutely correct. The good thing about being successful or unsuccessful, it's a choice. And if you feel that by the checklist I've been giving you that you have not been living your best successful life, you can make the decision today. All it takes is a choice and decision to say, today, I am going to start doing something to move my life forward, to be as successful as I can be. And it all starts with a small decision. Just be who you are. Do not subtract from your life. Do not shrink. Do not withdraw. Do not throw in the towel so quickly when things happen in life. Let's go to McDonald's. When is the last time that you saw a general manager of a McDonald's shut down the entire McDonald's because they had a bad day? It just doesn't happen. We have to learn to find a way to work around things that happen in life, because that is what's conditioning you to move forward. Oftentimes, most people will quit before they're 3 feet from goal. We have to have a winner's mindset if we choose to have a successful lifestyle. In honor of mental health awareness that's coming and approaching, I want to leave you with a message. Before we can try to work on anything externally, we must always make sure that we are good ourselves. And before anybody can get to you, to save you, to help you with you, before anybody could rescue you, we must first make sure that we are good so we can rescue ourselves in that darkest moment, in that darkest hour. So many people are going through so many things. You heard Tamara talk about it. So many people are getting phone calls and feeling alone, depressed, stressed. Just know that we have to make sure that our mentals are all right. And you do not have to have this big checklist in order to be successful. What are you doing with your life? Are you impacting anyone in the world? If so, then you are successful. I'm Carlotta Taylor, and that's my time.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Carlotta. I mean, wow, you hit the nail on the head there with the whole, it's like the oxygen mask, put on your own oxygen mask before you help others. Absolutely. And you said so much there that we can take away. And the big thing that hit me, and I'm sure it did other people, was it's all a choice. You have the choice, and it's that word success, that word winner. And having that mindset, you're the winner, you're going to make an impact, small, big, whatever. From that moment, you're a success. And I love the caterpillar and the butterfly. Wow, just amazing. Another absolutely extraordinary piece there. Thank you, Carlotta, for sharing so much with us. I also want to share with the audience today about all the wonderful things that you've done. I didn't want to do you an injustice of not of trying to remember all the things that I know about you, because I didn't think it was going to do you justice. Because just to say that you're an author and an impactor and, you know, a survivor, my words weren't going to be as good as I know this has been put together to sum up what you are and what you've given to the world. And we're so grateful that you're here today. So here is Carlotta Taylor, and she lives a no more flinching lifestyle, as you heard in her speech. And she's a powerhouse of purpose, a survivor and a fighter of systematic trauma. She is the founder of the Queen's Toast International Women's Empowerment Group, an instructor and founder of Recast Your Life Academy, the founder of Somebody Step In, non-profit organization for foster youth. And Carlotta is also the best-selling author of the book, No More Flinching, 5 Steps to Overcoming Adversity. Her book has been referenced as a survivor's tale for the abused and deemed an absolute must-read for anyone alive. Carlotta is a motivational speaker, moderator, life coach, and she turns clients' pain into profit. And you can learn more about Carlotta at www.carlottataylor.com. And Carlotta, can you just let us know where they could get hold of your book?
Yes, you can get a hold of my book at nomoreflinching.com, carlottataylor.com, or Amazon, Audible, Kindle, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, or Better World Books.
And I think after that, people will definitely remember the title, No More Flinching. I absolutely love the way you talked about the football player. I think I'm always going to remember that story. It did make me giggle because I'm like, yep, that wouldn't be much of a game to watch. And I just want to ask Tamara as well to share with us where we can get your book, if that's okay, lovely.
Sure, absolutely. You can find them on tamaralhunter.com. Go to the My Big Dream Life series or Amazon. And I think that there's a few other places also, but best place, just go to the website, tamaralhunter, right there.com. Thank you.
And Dinesh, if you can also share with us where we can get information from you. Oh, you're on mute, lovely.
I am not an author, but my book is under process. With your
Indeed.
all
But
such wishes, I'm sure that very soon it will be out.
But you're also making an impact with certainly in the area of meditation. So where can people get hold of you to learn more about that?
Correct.
So should we put all your information in the contacts at the end? Shall we do that so that everybody can click on and get those
Welcome.
as well in the comments? So that's fabulous. And so now I'm going to introduce our very next speaker. Wow, this time is going far too fast for me. That's all I can say today. I'm absolutely loving this. And I'm going to see if we can have the next. I've got Carlotta up there and I can't actually see my screen, which is a bit strange. I wonder if I press that, if it'll go to the next person. Can somebody tell me if my screen is showing the correct thing? No, it's not. Okay, let me see. That's interesting. Let me see if I can do it this way. There we go. I've got Carlotta up now. Is my screen share working now? Anybody? No, it's not. I can see it on my Facebook here. So what I'm going to do, bear with me, a little bit of techie problems. I'm so terrible with tech, but I have learned on the job very fast, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. So please do bear with me because now and again, it really catches me out. And here we have the lovely, here we go. Let me press that. And we're back on. Lovely. Okay. So wonderful. So we've got Beata. And she is a leadership coach and speaker, and we are so proud to have her here speaking with us today on Global Speakers Talk platform. She is the founder of Lead From Within Consulting, where she helps leaders of all levels to embrace their inner power so that they can inspire change in their people. Through a combination of mentoring, coaching, and speaking engagements, Beata guides leaders to new heights of accomplishment by teaching a new and peaceful leadership approach. She's been featured on stages throughout the world and has appeared on multiple media outlets. She shares her unique perspective on creating a new style of leadership from within. And so I cannot wait to hear from Beata on the stage. Welcome, lovely. Thank you for coming to Global Speakers Talk today to share with us your wisdom about mindset for success.
I'm very happy to be here and spend some time with you. Today, as you already said, we are here to talk about mindset for success. And as we all know by now, success means different things to different people, and it takes a different skill set to achieve it, right? However, when you look at successful people from diverse backgrounds and businesses, they all have something in common that helps them to succeed a little bit sooner. What is it? A winning mindset. Write this down. A winning mindset. The word mindset is defined as a mental attitude that sets a personal response and interpretation of situations. In that case, winning is more about how we choose to think about the circumstances we face. Write this down. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. Let me say it again. Mindset is what separates the best from the rest. Now, I have a good news for you and a bad news for you. The bad news is winning mindsets aren't given. The good news is they are developed. That is a really good news. Yes or yes? Now, I'm going to take a pause here for a second before we go any further and ask you a question. Listen carefully. If you were to take yourself out of your own head and look at everything that you think throughout the day, between your 60 to 80,000 thoughts that you have every single day, that is about 3,000 thoughts per hour, 50 per minute, just under 1 per second. Are you focusing and thinking more about what you want, or are you focusing more about what you do not want? In other words, are you focusing more on who you can become, or are you focusing on who you are not? Keep it in mind. According to William James, people tend to become what they think about themselves all day long. I'm teaching people how to break out of their negative thinking patterns because the story that we tell ourselves is how we perceive the world. Ladies and gentlemen, everything is a matter of perception. We are conditioned to think, to feel, and to act in a very certain way since the day we were born. The only way to break through this invisible prison and to succeed is to develop a winning mindset. And by the way, a winning mindset is not only about winning in business, but first and foremost, it is about winning in everyday life. When your child gets sick, when you get these 3 words, I have cancer. When your loved one dies, when COVID comes and you don't know what to do, or when the job that's supposed to give you a security ends up to give you anxiety. What to do then? You have to develop a winning mindset. Say I in a chat box if you resonate with any of the above. Now, write this down. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. And to experience life successfully, you need to develop a winning mindset. Now, there are 4 steps that can help you to shape your mindset for success. So please write them down when I talk about them. Step number 1, know your mindset. Remember, people tend to become what they think about themselves. So, what do you believe to be true about yourself and the world around you? What inspires you and what holds you back? Do your thoughts inspire you or put you down? Whose stories do you hear when you think these limiting thoughts? Are they even yours? Ladies and gentlemen, to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. The more knowledge and understanding you have about yourself, the faster you will achieve success. It all starts with a thought. What you think, you become. Step number 2, write this down. Be clear. You must be very clear on what success means to you. Paint your vision. What do you want more of in life? Peace, happiness, love, freedom, making a difference in your own life and the life of others. Identify your big why. Why is what you want so important to you that you are willing to go through the discomfort of change to get it? What we are looking for in here is the burning desire that will take you to your ultimate goal without fear, doubt, or despite the fear, doubt, and any other obstacles. In my experience, the fastest way to gain clarity is to grab a pen and a paper or get on your laptop and write. Ladies and gentlemen, journaling is a powerful tool that I use to point my clients in the direction of their dreams. Step number 3, write this down. Surround yourself with people that lift you up. Environment plays a significant role in creating our mindset. After all, we are social creatures and very easily influenced by those around us. Surround yourself with talented individuals and mentors that can teach you something new and who can encourage you to grow personally and professionally. Step number 4, write this down. Have the courage to act. I have learned that courage is about refusing things the way they are and going for something better. Successful people are always looking to better their best, and they understand that practice is the difference that lets you succeed or not, or lets you succeed faster or later. They constantly improve themselves because they know that practice needs to happen not only when you are motivated, but also when you don't feel like motivated at all. Roger Federer, one of the greatest tennis players of time, said, "You don't stop practicing when you are a champion, because practice is why you are a champion." Let me say it again. Roger Federer said, "You do not stop practicing when you are a champion, because practice is why you are a champion." Ladies and gentlemen, nothing changes without your participation. Winning happens during practice. One of my mentors, Les Brown, said to me, "Practice the practice until you become your practice." And let me leave you with this. Your thinking has the biggest power over your life. It can get in the way of your dreams and goals or set you up for success. Choose your thoughts wisely. Start where you are, use what you have, and do not stop until you get there. My name is Beata Seweryn-Reid, and it was a pleasure to share my story with you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Beata. That was just extraordinary again. And you left us with that thought that you know, thinking is your biggest, it's your biggest power. And it could also be your biggest enemy. That's what I'm taking from you, that what you think is so powerful. You know, to grow yourself, you need to know yourself, focus on what you want, and you become what you think about. Those were the core messages that I got. I loved the way you put them in points, you know, and told us to write it down, because I absolutely listened to you and I wrote everyone down. I've got a page full of it here. And I love the story about Roger as well. And it's so true, isn't it? You don't think until someone reminds you that practice, if you just give up, if you don't, oh, I don't feel like it today, you can't do that. You can't have that mindset. It's fabulous. Well done today. And we're keeping it coming, ladies and gentlemen, because we've still got Suzette this afternoon, who's also going to share with us her thoughts about mindset for success. I always find it fascinating when we do these summits with so many different speakers on the same topic, and yet every single one is so individual, so tailored towards each person's story, each person's experience. They run with the same theme throughout, but there's always something special that you take away from every one speaker that hits you right in the heart and talks to your mind and your spirit. And I just thank you all for being here. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, Suzette. So let's find out all about you. Let's make sure let's hope, fingers crossed, everybody, it's going to come straight up. Here we go. Suzette Berry, she's a transformational life coach. And she is the dream life architect. She's helping mums design and thrive in their dream lives. Her deepest goal is to help moms to reimagine what could be, help them set and work towards and let go of past hurts and traumas, to let go of all their negative beliefs that they hold to achieve the life of her dreams. Using Suzette's tools and experience, a mum can set out on a journey of self-discovery, belief, and success. And as a professionally certified and experienced mind, energy, and life coach, she has the tools and understanding to help mums to create the life that she only until now could just imagine, and to get a renewed sense of herself. So we have Suzette coming to the stage to share with us everything from her life about mindset for success. Suzette, welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and Global Speakers Summit. And thank you for the lineup we have. Like, you guys are amazing. I've loved everything that I've been listening to and hearing. And anyway, so as Lisa said, I love helping moms, specifically people in general, not only reach for their dream life, but actually know what it is. Several of us have talked about clarity, and clarity is one of the pillars that I teach on, because if you don't know what you want, you can't get what you want. And the example I like to use is if you have a baby and they can't communicate with you what they want, you have to do trial and error, right? Like, the baby's crying and you're like, what, do you need food? No. Okay. Are you wet? No. Okay. Like, you don't know what to give them. And when that baby is a toddler and has communication skills, it can say, hey, I need a snack, or I want to go outside. And then you know what to give that small child. And so I kind of liken your dream life to that. Be clear on what you want. And that's one of my main pillars for myself and for my clients. And the question that I ask is, and I want to ask you guys this, and I want you to kind of let it ruminate in the back of your mind as I tell the story, because I'm going to tell a story, because stories stick better than words. Are you ready to start living? And I know this means different things to different people, just like success does. I know we've mentioned a couple different versions of success, and success is whatever it is to you. So are you ready to start living life on your terms? Not just going through the day-to-day and surviving, but actually like thriving. Get to that life that you want and pick it up and walk in it. And I do an exercise that I won't do right now because of time, maybe at the end, but it's a really powerful exercise that helps you build clarity on what your life, what you want in your life. So if your life was exactly the way you wanted, what would it look like? And I want you to just kind of ruminate that in the back of your mind as we go through this, next 10, 15 minutes that I have with you, that I can just share the experiences that I've had that have helped me with my mindset. Okay. So there's 3 pillars that I use to help myself and to help my clients. One of them we talked about, which was clarity. The second one is confidence. You have to have confidence in yourself. I know Tamara talked about that miracle mindset, right? The I am. And Carlotta talked about, I've been successful since I was born. Amen. Yes, you have. like, you have to believe that, right? And that goes into confidence. And then the third pillar that I talk about is belief in your dreams. So if you believe in yourself, but you don't believe that maybe you believe your dreams are just too big, then you can't have success either, right? Because you're blocking that. So we're going to talk a little bit about these, but we're going to do it in a story form, because that way it's a little more memorable. So I'm going to tell you my story because I'm really familiar with that one. So I am a prime example of mindset change working for success. And I don't just mean success in business. I mean success in life. I mean success in love. I mean success in money. And I mean success in the fact that I am now living my dream life that I could have only imagined as a child. Right? And that imagination as a child is so important. I don't want to go on a tangent. I do that a lot. But if you can, and I know this is so cliche and we hear it all the time, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. But you can with the correct mindset. And that's why mindset is so important for success, because you can get these things. And that's the biggest thing that I find that my clients have to overcome, is the belief that they can have that, and that the belief that they are worthy of it and they do deserve it, which is where that confidence comes in that we talked about just a second ago. So anyway, growing up, if you had asked my family or my friends who was the most positive person you know, they probably would have said Suzette. What they didn't know was the inner chatter that I heard in the back of my head every day, and it didn't come directly from my family. My mom was always trying to build me up. You can be whatever you want to be. I had that good example in that. But I had others that were very influential and into my mind, and they told me that I wasn't good enough, and that I don't deserve, and that I'm not worthy, and that my dreams are too big. All I wanted as a kid was a horse farm. That's all I wanted. That's fine, but I had people, oh, that's too big, you can't do that, you'll never drive a BMW, you'll never do this, you can't do that. And that built, and I think Dinesh kind of talked a little bit about this, it built kind of a negative ball of energy, right? Instead of having this positivity that was always in the front, like that was my facade, right? I had this negative ball of energy in my head that was causing me to not believe the positive things that I was portraying. And so for a long time, I lived a life of, I'm not good enough, I can't do that, that dream is too big, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, all of that. And that's the things that I think a lot of people struggle with in their hearts and in their minds. You know, I don't deserve that. You know, why would I dream to have that? Because it's so big. I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy of that. Well, yeah, you are. So at the end, I'm going to give you some pointers on how to change that mindset, because I want you to be successful. Like, that is my goal, is for you to step out of that mindset and into the more positive, into the I am's great, I am great mentality. Okay. So I had this negative ball of energy, and one of my mentors, well, let me back up a little bit. Let's not skip steps. So I had this negative mindset. I hit rock bottom. I was divorced, and my child was an infant. I think he was about 12 months old when this happened. And I put the last diaper on him, and I called my mom, and I was like, what do I do? I have no money. I am a single parent. I have no support. I lived 20 hours away from my family. You know, like, I had nowhere to go, nothing to do. And I didn't know that mindset's everything at that point. Right. And I put the last diaper on my child, and I was like, what do I do now? And my mom's like, this will pass. This is temporary. Focus on that. Move forward. Like, what are you going to do next? What's your next step? And that helped me gain some clarity. And she did end up helping me a little bit, but the point was that I was at a low point, and I went to the coffee shop down the road, and I pulled the rugs up in my car to find $1 and go in and buy a coffee, because I needed the internet so that I could brainstorm and I could get some things done and try to figure out how to get out of the situation. One of you guys talked about pain, and I can't remember who it was, because we've had so many lovely speakers. But pain is the point of change. When you've hit a painful enough point, you get to that mindset of, something's got to give. Holy crap, I am done with this. This is no longer me. I want to move forward. And that's the point that I was at. So I found $1 in change under my floor mats in my car, and I went inside and I bought a coffee. And a friend of mine about 10 minutes later happened to come in and offer me her business because she was leaving town. And initially I was really reluctant, because it wasn't a business I wanted. And I was just like, we'll hold the phone. Okay, I am in a really bad place right now, and I need to get out of it. And this is a direction I can go. You know, so my goal wasn't that business. It was a business, because I never wanted to work for somebody else. But it wasn't necessarily that business. But I took that business of 2 clients that she had, and I ran with it, and I built it. And for 10 years, I built it. And I built my business and my money success on that business that started with me scraping under the floor mats for $1 and not having a diaper to put on my child. And it worked out really well. I mean, how many things have I learned from it? But what I found out was, because as I was building this business, I realized I needed to change my thinking. Like, because remember, I came from, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and that's too big, right? And so, like, 2 clients, okay, that was fine, but that doesn't pay the bills, right? And so I'm still trying to clothe I'm trying to clothe a child. And so I was like, okay, I need help in this area. And so I reached out and I found a coaching program, and that coaching program helped me change my mindset. And I'm so grateful that I had the courage, because sometimes it does take courage to ask for help, right? And I'm so grateful that I had that courage to say, hey, you know what? I'm weak in this area. I know that I can be stronger. Help me be stronger. And one of my mentors in the last couple of years said, if you want something in your life to change, you have to change something in your life. You can't think the things you've always thought, because you'll continue to get the things you've always got. Right. And that hit me when I heard that probably 2 years ago now. It made me think about that day in the car when I was trying to get money for a coffee. And I'm like, if I hadn't taken that step with, my friend in the coffee shop and gone ahead and taken over her business, I would potentially still be in that same spot, and my life is so much better now. Like, I do have my dream farm, and I do drive a BMW, and I do get to travel and do all of these things. And even more important is that I get to help everybody else realize their dreams that they have. And I get to help them overcome their mindsets. And I get to do it because I've done it. That gives me that authority. Sure, I have a certificate, and yes, I have experience coaching. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But I've lived it. Right. And so that is very helpful because I've been there. So let's see. I'm checking my little bullet points here so I make sure I got everything. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to change that negative ball of energy. Okay, there are so many things out there, and they generally work if you believe they work, right? It's all in the mindset. So I love that miracle mindset that you mentioned, Tamara. I wrote it in my notes. I was like, miracle mindset, this is fantastic. But it is a miracle mindset, So you want to shift your negative ball of energy, your negative neural pathways. Some people call it negative energy. Some people call it negative neural pathways. Some people call it a negative inner chatter. It amounts to the same thing. And it's a negative belief about yourself or about your dream. And you need to shift that. In order to overcome it, you want to shift it. You want to clear it. And I teach my clients various techniques because I've learned lots of them over the last 10, 15 years. But here's 3 things that I do with my clients that help them overcome. Obviously, I'm not going to give you the entire 4-month program and whatever, but I'm going to give you 3 of the main things. Okay. The first one, to overcoming that negative ball of energy and stepping into I am great mindset, I am successful mindset, okay, is to start with a positive I am list. And I used to write this on my mirror in a dry erase marker because that's easily erased. It doesn't leave a stain. And I see it more than once a day, right? So I would write, I am beautiful. I am great. I am a great cook. And be specific. Not just, oh, I am amazing. I'm amazing at being a mom. I am great at being a wife. Obviously I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. But I am a great driver, whatever it happens to be, that you can feel great about, and you start there. Okay. Because if you don't believe what you're saying, you're not going to be able to change the mindset. You've got the whole point of writing this list is to be able to believe it. And the more you say these things that you do already believe, maybe you are a great cook. Maybe you do have a great sense of humor. And you probably do, even if you don't see it yet. But the point is to believe these things. It sets you up to believe these things. And then as you believe these things more and more, and you say them more and more, you come up with more things that you're great at. You know, I think I started with 5 or 10 things on my list, and now I have a whole notebook of things I think I'm great at. And it's fantastic, right? In fact, I have so many notebooks around with I am great and my successes and my wins and, you know, celebrating all of these things that my husband had to buy me Remarkable because he's like, I'm tired of having 16 notebooks around. And so I have all my notebooks in one thing now. But my point is that you want to say your positive things, and you want to say them at least once a day, preferably twice or more. Every time you see them, go through the list. Every time you think of something, oh, I'm great at this, add it to the list. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is to celebrate your wins. And this is key. This is so important. Celebrate your wins. It doesn't matter how small it is. Doesn't matter how big it is. Celebrate your wins. Write them down. At one point, I had to keep a success journal, and I teach my clients to do this. Keep a success journal and write them down. And you may start at, I didn't hit snooze this morning. You know, good for you. Or you may start at, I got my child on the bus on time. Great. You know, for some people, these are small wins. For you, that might be a big win. Celebrate it. All of the wins. Okay. And then you see more and more and more wins. And these I am great lists and these wins help you build this positive ball of energy. And once your positive ball of energy gets bigger than the negative ball of energy, you have this positive mindset, and you can step into this I am great life. I am my dream life. I am successful. Holy crap, I've been successful since I was born. You know, like, but you have to get that ball of energy, the positive ball of energy, bigger than the negative ball of energy. And then the third thing that I would say is clear those negative neuropathways. There are multiple modalities out there that help you clear negative energy, help you clear negative patterns. Meditation is great. It works really well for it. Hypnosis does it. EFT does it. I have my own energy clearing technique. There's so many ways out there that help you clear those negative neuropathways, and that will help that negative ball shrink. So you're putting that positive in, you're shrinking that negative ball, and you can step into your I am successful life. So back to you. Hope I didn't go over too much.
Well, we're doing really well for time, Suzette. That was so great. What I loved about what you did there is you just gave us oodles and oodles of really actionable tips that we can do right now. You know, I mean, like you say, meditation works for some, hypnosis works for some, EFT. I love that you went and mentioned all of the things and essentially, like you said, making that ball of negative smaller and the positive one bigger. Because I think everyone can relate to having the, you know, negative Nancy sitting on their shoulder at times, which they have to like flick off, you know, and get rid of and find a way. And however you want to visualize it, I think what you said in your talk there was brilliant about how we need to move from that negative into the positive. And I so relate with your story as well. I put it in the chat from when you started talking, because I've had the same experience in my life, certainly even with the public speaking. I've had people say to me, even when I first joined GST, wow, but when you're on the camera, you sound okay. You look really together and really confident. And I'm like, You should see what's going on inside, because it was like the little swan that looks okay on the top, and then underneath its little feet are like trying to catch up like this, because what's on the exterior and the, doesn't always portray what you're feeling inside. And sometimes we can become a person that's able to, we've found ways to mask what we're really feeling. And then we've got a misalignment in ourselves, where we're putting something out there that isn't actually what we're feeling inside. And what was interesting that I found out too late, unfortunately, because I've always been a teacher and always worked with little children, always telling them, we're going to celebrate the tiniest, minutest little steps to your goals, everything they did, congratulating them for what they did, any mistakes they made. Well, this is good, because now look what we've learned from it. Pencils have erasers on the end for a reason. We rub out mistakes and we learn from them and we get better and we improve. So having spent my whole life teaching others that, and being someone who, confides with friends and gives advice along those lines, it took me so long to realize that I wasn't even doing it to myself. I knew it all along, but I did not even see it in me. Again, people saw me as such a positive person because that's how I was. I was always trying to help others, but I'd forgotten to help me. I hadn't put that oxygen mask on first, like, Carlotta said, and I wasn't even aware of it. And when I became aware of it, I was like, how am I going to change this? All these habits for all this time, I've been busy helping others and not helping myself to get rid of negative Nancy, and to push away that ball of energy. And I did not find it was easy. And I'm sure you can all relate to struggles we've had in our life where we know we need to change them, but it's not always easy. And we're not sitting here today, any of us, saying this is an easy path for people who are listening that may be struggling still with fixing that mindset. And I don't even know that I'm fully there, but every day I'm growing, and that's all we can do. And I wanted to share that because I hope that there are people listening that realize that everybody feels the same. We're all human. We all have done it. We've helped others and not been able to help ourselves. And it's just about awareness. And that's one thing I picked up on what you said, Suzette, was about the awareness. It's about having that bravery and courage to ask for help, to be looking at yourself. And I think every speaker here touched on finding out about yourself. I particularly remember Carlotta saying about knowing yourself and how important it is to be able to correct those things. And I feel so honored to have been sat here today listening to all of you, because I know that it's helped me. And I really hope that it has helped many other people listening there today. And I wanted to pose a question to you along those lines, because there will be people who may struggle with finding their mindset. And obviously, this is great because we were able to help in some way with that, with all the wonderful things that have been said. But what if your mindset is got a little bit gone off course and has pushed you to want to be so successful and to want to get so many things done that you're almost on the balance of not maintaining a healthy sense of perspective and avoiding burnout and stress? Because I think this is sometimes a danger. You may have found the right mindset for success. Yes, I'm successful. Yes, I can do anything I put my mind to. My thoughts are going to become things. But we may not notice that sometimes we can overdo it and we can forget to put other things in the balance of our lives. So I would love to hear from each of you, if you wouldn't mind, on that question about how can somebody balance their pursuit of success with maintaining that healthy sense of perspective to avoid burning out or stress. Do you want to go first, Suzette, or am I putting you on the spot, lovely?
I can go. That's fine. Because as a mom, this is something that we struggle with, especially professional and entrepreneur moms, which is my specific niche. And I remind my clients often that you have to put your oxygen mask on first. Yes, you have this positive mindset, you have the success mindset. Good job. That's awesome. But you also have to make time for yourself. You have to make time for your family. Because if you don't make time for those things, then you do get burnt out and you do get stressed and you do tend to live for your business, your success, your, fill in the blank. I teach time management for this, and it starts, and nobody wants to schedule their lives. We want to be able to live spontaneously. We want to be able to, well, I'm speaking for myself, I guess. Not everybody's the same, but I started by blocking those times out. So I would block out time for family. I would block out time for me. And then the times that are in between those are times that I can do business. They're the times that I can focus on my business success. Because like we said earlier, success comes in many packages. It's not just business, money, prosperity, etc. It's also love. It's also relationships. It's also family. It's also yourself. And so I made time for those things because I want to have a successful life, not just a successful business. And that was really helpful for me. And it's really helpful for my clients. And here's another thing that goes right along with that is when you're working from home. And, 2020 during COVID, everybody started working from home. Everybody was working remotely. And that was a challenge because then all of a sudden your kids have you home all the time. Your spouse has you home all the time. And it was difficult initially to set those boundaries. But we talk a lot in my coaching practices about setting boundaries, because when you have the time for your business, or you have your time for your work, or your, whatever you're building for success, you want to stay professional, right? And if you have loud noises in the background and you have the dogs barking and you have, your husband yelling, so, hey, where's this? Or where's that? Or, I want more video game time. Okay. You're still a parent. You're still a wife or a husband. You're still, you still have your family life. And my office doesn't have a door on it. So it's not like I can just block it out. I have to have boundaries. Hey, from this time to this time, I'm going to be speaking, or I'm with a client, or I'm with this. I love you. I want to spend time with you. Give me this time, and then I will give you this time. And you just set that really clear, loving boundary. And as long as your children are old enough to understand that, then it works really well. And when they're not old enough to understand that, then I make them a part of it. So my clients understand I am a mom. I'm about to give birth any day, so I'm going to have to do this again. Yeah. So, like the baby is going to just become part of my coaching practice until she's old enough to understand, hey, mommy has to talk to a client right now. Give me just a little bit of time, and then I can give you what you need. So having those clear boundaries, and those loving boundaries, you don't have to be harsh about it. You can be completely loving and kind. And I think that is very helpful. And also blocking that time out so the family doesn't feel left out. So I think that answered the question.
Oh, 100%. And I love that you went into boundaries and, you included your children, because children need boundaries as well. And I think from the youngest age too, for them to understand you need boundaries too, to have those honest conversations as parents is fabulous, from the children being the youngest, because they understand so much more than we give them credit for. If we will just open ourselves up to them and be vulnerable, we can still be the parent in charge, but we can also tell them, this is what mommy does and this is why we need balance, So thanks for that, Suzette. That's excellent. I wondered if anyone else wants to share their thoughts on the question. Tamara, would you like to tell us?
I'd love to. This is really important. It's something that I've experienced, and I think many of us most likely have, and that is, I believe in community, and that there's healing through connections. What does that mean? It means when you are you're doing what you're doing. And Suzette, I'm a big time blocker. So many of the skills that you were talking about, yes, many of us implement. However, sometimes we are blinded. We have our blinders on. We are mission oriented. We are making a difference. We need to sometimes have those trusted people in our lives that you say, if you see this, if you see me with those big dark circles under my eyes and I'm just pushing it, and you know that I'm struggling, I give you permission to come to me and ask, are you taking care of yourself? And then our responsibility in that question is to be honest with ourselves and say, maybe I'm not. And then not to beat ourselves up about it, because if we're with blinders on, we're most likely type A plus personalities, and maybe working to be a recovering type A plus personality. And so have those trusted individuals, and then do the balance. I believe in buddies. Do the balance. Say, hey, what do you need from me? It creates that much more of that inner circle of trust, that then you can go out there and do what you're doing, and you don't do it alone. And trust me, when you're doing something so big, you don't want to do it alone. It's a lot more fun to take others with you. That's what I would like to share.
I love that so much. And you know what's interesting is, again, with most of these summits I go to, somebody at some point brings out and makes me immediately think about the importance of people, because it's a thing that runs through everything that we do as human beings. We cannot exist without those other people around us that are pushing us on, that are helping us. And thank you for putting that thought straight back there in my head again about how important the people in the community around us are. Thank you so much, Tamara, for that. Anybody else like to share?
I can share.
Lovely. Go.
So who is sharing? Hello?
Sorry, you're on the camera. Suzette.
Oh, I am? Okay. So I think you said something about when we put our minds so high and fix on success that the balance is not there. So I smiled, because when I hear that, it's not a mindset that goes too far. It's our ego that kicks in, and it's what we need to check. It's not the mindset, it's the ego. And I work with leaders, so there are a lot of egos, right? Like, they are high-driven people, so ego is always there, but ego can be very helpful and healthy. So the most important, I think, part is, and I mentioned that, get to know yourself so well that you will be aware when ego comes, and it's like, oh, hey, here you are. Oh, where have you been? Yeah. And I want to echo Tamara that said about community. If you join and or create, because if you cannot find something, create it. Community that will inspire you to be your best, and usually the energy in around the people that are healthy, ego driven or success driven, the energy around them will set you free from, this sometimes unhealthy thoughts, or I'm have to get there in, I don't know, whatever is, you mean success for you. And when you feel that unhealthy feelings, that you forgot about your family, your friends, and you are only focused on whatever success you want to achieve, they pull you back, and they just, and it's just happening naturally. Nobody is even coming to say, hey, what are you doing? I see that you are ego driven. No, you just feel it, and you have this conscious check on yourself, like, oh, my ego showed up. So just, it's about awareness, knowing yourself very well and finding or creating community that will support you in your healthy growth, is what I have to say.
That's brilliant, because what you're essentially saying is as long as you've worked really hard on your mindset and you've got to know yourself and done all of the things that everyone's advised today, then your mindset is already going to be set up to give you the hint when things are going wrong, which is fabulous.
And one more thing, find a mentor. It's the other great stuff. Find a mentor that already been where you are and will help you healthy and successfully achieve whatever you want in life.
Oh, fantastic. And that again echoes what Suzette said, because that is huge, isn't it, for a lot of people. You know, we mentioned things like meditation, hypnosis, and helping yourself, but we all know as entrepreneurs and thought leaders that we have all needed a mentor. You know, a doctor needs another doctor. You know, it's a part of life. You've got to have somebody else looking out for you, and somebody that you can learn from who stepped in those shoes as well, mentors. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've muted myself. Dinesh, did you say you wanted to say something? Oh, who was it?
Their answer is really much better.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Carlotta, if it was you, lovely, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. Okay, I just wanted to add to it. Everyone pretty much said it, and I just want to share this because me and Tamara have had this conversation, and we shared some things between the two of us. And what I loved about the conversation was Tamara says, "Do you give me permission to help be that person for you?" Sometimes we need an accountability partner, someone who just, even if that person just asks you a simple question, because when we are always doing and always helping, always inspiring, we're always pouring. We do not need our cup to be empty. One of the best questions that anyone can ever ask me that we don't get asked often is people on the stage is, are you okay? And when you ask that question from your heart and good energy, and sometimes I've been asked that question before, and I know I wasn't okay because I was going, tears would just start coming down my eyes because I am so grateful that someone took out the time to just simply say, are you okay? We have to make sure we're okay. My accountability partner, my number one accountability partner is at home. And he will make sure that I am okay. I will be that person. I never considered it to be ego. However, it could be. That was a self-check. Thank you for that gut check. However, I found myself working from sunup to sunrise, to sunrise. So you know what that means. Didn't even go to sleep. Sometimes I have to get pulled away from work to eat. But we have to take care of ourselves. So I'm doing a much better job. Also, with delegating tasks, we have to understand we cannot do it all ourselves. That team environment, that community comes in handy, and it actually helps because as leaders, we also want to identify other leaders in the community because we all win and share those responsibilities. So I wanted to add that that was a really great question, and I'm so honored that I'm able to add to that question.
Thank you. That was really powerful as well, that adding that little story and all that information. That was great. And one thing that I noticed when you mentioned ego, I think we all sort of took a gasp and were like, oh, ego. But then what I loved is that then it was corrected and it reminded to us that ego is a good thing. Because we often forget sometimes these words have negative connotations, don't they? You know, I remember doing a personality quiz or something with a coach, finding out more in depth about myself. And I found out that I did something that I thought was quite negative. It said I was judgmental, or not judgmental, but I judge. But it was not in a bad way. You know, like you can sometimes judge in a good way. And I never saw it that way. You know, I always thought judgmental, you know, the way we think people are judgmental, that's a negative. But actually being a judge or having judgment is not always negative. So it's really interesting how our language sometimes, just the little nuances of it, can sometimes make us forget that there's the positivity in so many things if we look for it. So thank you so much to everybody who's been here on the stage sharing. It's been an absolutely wonderful summit and an unforgettable one in my mind. The 27th, we hope that anyone who's watching and watches the replay, if you do watch the replay, please put in #replay so we know you visited. We would love to hear your comments and takeaways in the chat when you do watch. And we would love for you to also check out Global Speakers Community, because we have a Global Speakers Community Facebook group where you're very welcome to go in and try to practice your speaking. Or if you're a seasoned speaker, which we have many of also in the group, you have a chance to share things that you want to share with the community and get feedback and maybe make connections. And many collaborations have come through, wonderful relationships that have been built through Global Speakers. And so I implore you to take a look and see if it's for you, because I certainly have found it a big help to me personally. So I don't want the summit to end, but we have come to the end, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon. And I just want to sign off by saying that we do have our exciting new project, which is YouTube Live, where we've got Global Speakers Live going on YouTube, where we're inviting people to join us to do their speech and their signature story on a 10-minute YouTube live broadcast. And we would love for you to find out more about that. You can find out more in the community, and you can find out more if you go to www.globalspeakerstalk.com. And we are looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you as part of our community. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to get hold of any of the speakers today, I am going to put all their contact details in the chat after we finish. Don't forget, you can put forward any questions towards them as well. And I just want to ask the panel, before we leave you, did you have any burning questions for anyone else in the panel as you were listening to them? Because I know myself, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, I really want to ask this, and then you don't get the opportunity. So this is your opportunity. Otherwise, you can connect with them at another time. But thank you so, so much for being here. And I want to thank the audience again. And we're going to say goodbye until next month when you join us for our 28th Global Live Speakers Summit. From us, have a great afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.